Hello there, everybody.
Hey, how's it going?
We are the Pear podcast.
That's right. We're back on number 6.
I've lost count at this point.
Nah, we ain't that far ahead.
Hey, so guess what?
What?
Remember how good last week went with our special guest?
Yes, I do.
We're going to do that again today.
Going back to back with it?
Back to back.
Alrighty.
Like, what was that song you said?
That Drake song I brought up?
That Drake song.
Yeah.
Somebody we have here that knows a little bit more about Drake than us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, gosh.
We referred to him as your brother.
Yeah,
but-
and multiple episodes he's been name dropped as, your brother did this, and your brother said that. So,
It is I, the infamous brother.
So we got Daniel with us. How's it going?
It's good. It's good. Just got back from Collecticon
Ooh,
in
how was it?
Atlanta. Some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, got to
Yeah.
upgrade some stuff. That was cool. Watched a buddy spend $1,000 on gold stars. So
Oh my
collecting
God.
Pokemon.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Always fun.
Well, thanks for joining us, Daniel. We appreciate it.
Always. No, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Nice. So we have a few questions for you. But first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Like I said, I'm Dalton's brother. Keisha's soon-to-be brother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
I have been playing Pokemon for ever since y'all have, so like 2 years, I think, something like
Yeah,
that. 2.5
years, yeah.
My favorite Pokemon is Electivire. Best Pokemon ever.
Well, you're just gonna jump right in there with the question I haven't
Yeah.
even asked yet. All right, let's go.
Yeah, yeah. So my favorite Pokemon is Electivire. I don't know why. My favorite animal is a bear. I know he's not a bear, but I thought he was a bear when I was younger.
Yeah.
So like he's just always been my favorite.
What would you say he is?
I'm pretty sure he's a Yeti, like a Sasquatch. I think is what Electivire is supposed to be. But yeah, I just always liked Electivire. But yeah, other than that, just kind of like playing Pokemon. I played Yu-Gi-Oh before Pokemon. I played Yu-Gi-Oh like my entire life. Started playing Pokemon. I've enjoyed it ever since. Ditching Yu-Gi-Oh. Was definitely happy to do that. But other than that, yeah.
How long did you play Yu-Gi-Oh for?
Oh, I played Yu-Gi-Oh on and off. Are you in like competitive sense? I started playing like competitive Yu-Gi-Oh in like 2014.
Okay.
On and off. But then, me and Dalton played Yu-Gi-Oh our entire life growing up as well. So
yeah, I remember those days.
Well, you've came to the right side now.
Yeah, Dalton actually got me my first Yu-Gi-Oh card ever that hooked me, which was a Steel Scorpion.
Yep.
Yep. So
that's cool. So Daniel, are you a competitive player or a casual player?
I would consider myself a casual player. Not really. I'm pretty competitive. I think at least I find a lot of enjoyment in talking about deck design and deck building. I think it's one of my favorite things about Pokemon is deck building and things like that. Yeah, I would definitely say competitive. I've only played. I think I've played one less regional than y'all. So I've played 2 regionals. Made some bad choices, but like in deck choices and things and last minute changes and stuff. But hoping to do better in the future, But like local tournaments, like case tournaments and things like that, challenges, I've seen some success. And I like to think I'm a pretty competent player. So
yeah, for sure. So how has Pokemon impacted your life?
I would say like Pokemon as a whole has impacted my life a lot. We played Pokemon at one point me and Dalton were banned from playing Pokemon. Like, I don't know if Dalton's ever talked about this.
As in the video game.
Yeah, as in like the video games. We were not banned from the TCG.
I was like,
anything. like our parents made us like stop playing Pokemon because we were playing it too much. When we were children. So we played it a lot growing up. Obviously, Kids WB, things like that. Or I'm pretty sure that's what Pokemon came on. But
I thought that was just Yu-Gi-Oh.
Was that just Yu-Gi-Oh? I don't know. Either way, cartoons, the movies were a big deal growing up, things like that. But I would say like currently, Pokemon impacts my life the most because me and Dalton are close when as brothers and stuff. So I get to spend time with both of y'all, which I really enjoy.
Aww.
A lot of my friends that I've met playing card games and stuff. Some of them came to Pokemon, things like that. So it's been pretty enjoyable overall for me.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So I kind of dropped the ball on the question for all of us. I haven't even went to look,
Yeah,
but
we're
I'm
gonna
like
do it
going on the
off the
fly right
dome.
now. So Daniel, you go first. What is our question of the week,
This is
by
our
the
question
way?
of the week, yeah.
What is the most rare and or valuable card for you and why?
And not necessarily value, but you could be even like, is it monetary value? Is that what that's called?
Yeah, it'd be monetary value.
Yeah.
I don't know, like valuable to me specifically. I would probably. I used to collect a lot, and I don't really collect as much anymore. I've had like expensive cards and things like that, but like I'm a sucker for like old reverse hollows and like old
Okay.
stamped reverse hollows.
Yeah.
I just recently got like the Ultra Balls and stuff that I used to have, and like those to me, like at Collecticon, it's like the only thing I was looking for.
Right.
Energies and things like that. So like I don't really have like a very specific card. I have a whole page of Beware
There you
art
go. Yeah.
rares. It's like probably my favorite art rare that's came out in the modern era of
Yeah.
Pokemon. But it's probably like my favorite art rare. Like I said, bears are like my favorite animal. So yeah, I'd probably say those.
Nice.
Very nice.
One that when I was writing this question of the week, one I thought was just kind of cool for you was your you have a certain Charizard signed by a famous
Oh, that is
player.
true. That is
I was
true.
like, I'm
I
gonna be
completely
surprised
forgot
if he
about this.
brings up that card or not, because this has got a fun story to it.
Yeah. So I do own the only, as far as I know, the only Charizard. It's a special delivery Charizard signed by Shaquille O'Neal, and it's the coolest thing ever. No one ever expects it, and they almost look concerned when I tell them that. So no, it is. I have it up on a shelf. Like, I mean, I don't probably ever intend on selling it or anything. But it is pretty cool.
Recently got graded too, right?
Yeah. I got a 9 on the card and a 10 on the auto. So
Jim Minton, shout out to Shaq.
yeah, shout out to Shaq.
For you listening out there, Shaq, you know.
He might be.
All right,
What about you,
Keisha?
baby?
Oh, me? You gonna go me next?
Yeah.
So I have kind of same thing. Almost, it's hard to pick just one card. As everybody knows, I'm a big stamp collector, so I'm really, I guess, proud and like hold a lot of value to my pre-release stamp promos. I've got a small little 2x2 binder that I keep all the stamp promos in. And us coming in during the end of the Sword and Shield. Excuse me.
Sword and Shield.
Yes, that era. I've kind of went back and collected all of those. Some of them were a little crazy. Some's Christmas gifts, some is birthday gifts. And then after that, since the Scarlet Fire, I have those. Currently working on the Sun and Moon. So those are kind of one of the, monetary value. I like those a lot. And then my other just kind of like has a nice story is I'm a Snorlax collector as well. And I have the gold Snorlax in my collection that I won from a giveaway that we were on another stream, another app, I guess you could say, and we won it and pulled it out of the pack. And that kind of was like, it wasn't a crazy expensive card, but I was like,
not then, but it is now.
It's gone up a little bit,
yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of my favorite Snorlaxes I have in my collection, just because it's got a nice little story back behind it too.
For sure.
Yeah. What about you, Keisha?
So, I feel like my favorite is going to be all of my cast form, honestly.
Yeah.
But that card that's coming out in Surging Sparks, I feel like is going to be my favorite cast form.
I can see that. The card is very beautiful.
But right now, I'm gonna go with either my Hidden Legends Sunny cast form or my Delta Species Sunny cast form.
Okay, nice. Gotta be a cast form.
Good choices.
Yeah, Sunny cast form's like my favorite. So, and the arts on both of those are pretty cool.
He's your favorite out of the forms, the cast form?
Yep, I think Sunny is my favorite out of them.
Because of your sunny personality.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's cool. I'm glad we had that for the question of the week. So, jumping right into how our weeks went. We went to locals. at Breaking Bangers. Unfortunately, the playmat tournament was postponed. Boo.
Yeah.
So Dalton, you're number one on this list. So not number one as far as winning.
Yeah, just on this list we laid out. Gotcha.
So how'd you do?
So I went 2-1. Decided to play Bolt. Round 1, I lost to a Palkia Terapagos list because this tournament they were playing in the future format with Stellar Crown being legal. Played against a player, hit he just kinda I missed the turn one going second donk, and he just kinda I did the late game Iono, and the Iono failed me, and he was able to get the last 2 prizes for I needed that extra turn to kinda catch back up.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen.
Sometimes they just have it.
Yep, they always have it. And then round 2, I hit Goldango Pulse, which I believe was you, Keisha.
That was me.
Yep. We always end up playing, and I won that game. And then round 3, I hit a Great Tusk player, and I don't know how the game was. Could have been more one-sided because it was just I didn't get milled, but maybe once.
Yeah.
They opened Pidgeot V.
Ugh.
And I don't know if they didn't have a way to retreat it or not, but I was able to start my prize race taking the knockout on that Pidgeot.
The Vanishing Wings one?
Yeah. I was expecting it to get moved back to the bench.
Yeah.
And disappear into the deck, and when it didn't, I said, "Oh, target acquired. We're taking
target acquired.
Yeah, we're taking that sucker out." So yeah, 2-1 for me. How about you, Keisha?
1 and 2 over here. Unfortunately, round 1, I hit Iron Valiant Blood Moon, our good buddy Bobby. That was a very close game. He got me late game with the big Blood Moon EX. So that was unfortunate. Round 2, I lost to Bolt.
Oh, who's playing that Bolt list?
You.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then round 3, I had the bye. So
hey,
it was one of those things.
My favorite opponent at the bye.
Yeah. It is what it is. So we're back in the kitchen cooking back up.
Yeah, we sure are.
All right, Mr. 4-0. How'd you do?
3-0. 3-0.
3-0.
Yeah, it was just 3. Yeah, I did get 3-0. I decided to play Sablezard. I was kind of just disrespecting Regidrago and just hoping no one brought it. It did play out pretty well. My first round was Guardy, which, I mean, any Lost Box list kind of just has a pretty good advantage against Guardy. Went pretty well. I mean, it went kind of how I expected it to. It was my first time playing Sablezard. I usually played a lot of Turbo Lost Box, so I was happy to see it work pretty well. Then I played against Palkia Terapagos. You could tell they were it's a little new. They weren't really used to it yet. That one, yeah, they didn't really just get established pretty well before I was Cramorant was able to start like taking, chipping damage and then setting up Sableye plays.
Right.
Then played against Zach. Shout out Zach. He's playing Pure Dragapult, which me and him have been like talking about that list a lot and stuff like that. So like, it's a weird one because like, so in the list that I played, I think it was Brandon Salazar. He's in seniors. I kind of got the idea from him to play Monkey Dory.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, because like the idea was like one Dark Energy and then Monkey Dory for like Pult, so that you can really it's for Regidrago.
Yeah.
But if they try to Pult you, then you can move the damage off. And actually, it did end up winning me the game. I was able to move 10 off, so he couldn't take 2 prizes.
Ooh, okay.
Which actually changed the game entirely in my favor. But it was a very close game, and it was a really good time. But yeah, the deck performed pretty well. I don't think it'll be something that I play long term. I just wanted to change the pace from Charizard. But yeah.
Absolutely.
Good for you.
I even had you an imaginary 4th win on there too.
Yeah,
so
that's
so
how good it did.
So Sunday we went to a challenge at 1-Up. Somebody next to me picked my deck for me.
Oh, I knew you.
No blame.
Yeah, no blame. But someone couldn't decide their deck.
Yeah, looking back, I definitely should have brought Stall.
Not stalled. It's not necessarily. So we'll talk about it because we'll talk about what was.
Yeah. So I went 2-2. I played Miraidon. Round 1, We played each other.
Yep, again.
And I
Yeah,
lost.
God.
Yeah, it never fails. It never fails. Uh, round 2, I lost against Zard, and then round 3, I got the bye, and then I won round 4 against Bolt. So not terrible, but not the greatest. Maridon's just in a tough spot right now, and it probably will be till Surgeon Sparks comes out. So
Yeah, before we were deciding your deck or our decks in general,
mm-hmm.
like we were going through what to play, and you gave me like 4 deck options, and one of them was the Cornerstone Ogre Pawn Noivern deck.
Yeah.
And I made the bad call to you thinking about it, and my brain said, oh, the only deck that doesn't do well against is Dragapult. But I forget this challenge we went to.
Stellar Crown was not legal.
Pretty Stellar Crown, yeah.
Yeah.
So Dragapult was nowhere to be found because I feel like having that deck, you still have to pull it off, but there was nothing but Raging Bolt, Drago, and Zard for the people that were there today. That was it. Everyone was on.
Zard would have probably been a good play today, but it is
So
what it is.
I did
Yeah.
even worse, we went 1-3. I decided to play Drago.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately got the win on you round 1.
Yeah,
and then that was bad juju because went downhill after that.
Yeah.
Round 2 and 3 were both to Bolt. Lost both of those pretty. I don't know. My deck was just I wasn't finding the. I think round 2 I couldn't get the Regidrago V-Star out of my deck to save my life. So there was literally nothing. I remember doing nothing, but I even had to do a what's Squawkabilly attack? A motivate.
Yeah. I heard that from across the room. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, it was rough. Those were round 2 and round 3 losses, and then round 4 I hit Zard, and I got down to again. I knew I needed to Iono him late and pray he didn't get the boss. I was swinging with my Radiant Zard, and I had a switch off in the deck still.
Mm-hmm.
So the plan was to swing with the Radiant Zard to take a knockout on his Radiant Zard that he dropped himself. Then he had Zard left with a little bit of damage on. I can't remember how much. And I was going to Iono him, and it was pretty much he didn't have a Pidgeot set up. He didn't have a Bibarel set up, and it was an Iono, and he top deck boss. He Iono'd into a boss, and then his draw for turn was also a boss.
Oh.
So he got 2 bosses.
Okay.
So it was pretty much the scoop ski potatoes from there.
Very luck based, I swear.
I feel like all the matchups though. Like I wasn't actually able to make this because I went to Collecticon. But the I feel like all the matchups like weren't like except maybe the matchup with y'all. Like Dalton playing Drago. Bolt is kind of a matchup you really don't want to see.
Exactly. Yeah.
Keisha seeing Charizard is very unfortunate for you. It's like just an inherent like hard to play matchup. So like, I mean, maybe the deck choices. I mean, I get like why y'all played those decks, like for sure.
Yeah.
Especially after Baltimore, you got to expect like people would have been probably maybe playing Lugia and things like that. But there's just a lot of Bolt at 1-up specifically. It looks like, at least from this.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, and like Drago just has a kind of a rough time in the Bolt. It just can't like keep up with the pace sometimes with Bolt. And then with Maridon, like when y'all played, it's sometimes hard for Maridon to like, because I mean you kind of have to be swinging with Maridon into the Ogre Pawns and stuff, which is sometimes a little difficult. So, and they only need like 3 energy to knock out most of your stuff anyway.
I did get one of your Dragos knocked out.
You did indeed.
With the Vitality Band and all that.
Yeah,
so
like the Vitality Band comes up a lot actually right there. So
it does, yeah. Oh, so that's the end of that format. So we can move on to Stellar Crown.
Yeah, that's the last one.
Yay! Regidrago format sucks.
Yes.
Regidrago Dragapult format too.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you said that format sucked.
No, Regidrago format sucks. Yeah, like the
Okay.
format's
I
just
thought
not
you
that
said.
fun.
I thought you meant like, woo, we're going into more Regidrago. No, Dragapult's
No,
going
no,
back
no.
around.
Dragapult's making a
Dragapult.
comeback. We'll
There's a
see.
lot of strong decks, I think, in the next format. So exciting to see like what is
Absolutely.
good.
Definitely. So our main topic today, I know we have Kentucky regionals coming up. We're prepping for all that stuff, and we kind of got to thinking, what if it's your first regional?
Mhm.
What if Kentucky's your very first regional? You're nervous. You've got Charizard. That's the deck you decided to bring, but you're like, I'm confident I can do well, but I want to win. I want to do well. I want to make sure I don't pass out. I want to make sure I don't get angry,
This
get
is your very
frustrated.
first one.
Very first one, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're by no means no expert at these. We've been to between me and you, we've been to 3.
This is our fourth one.
This will be our 4th, and Daniel, this is your 3rd.
Yeah, this will be my third.
But I mean, still, I mean, we can y'all tell difference from the first regional we went to versus like, do we feel like we're more prepared after our first?
Oh, I think so. Yeah,
I
and
would
also,
say so.
yeah,
Because it's a lot. Even like when you first start going to locals, I think it's a lot.
Oh,
You get
absolutely.
the nervousness and stuff of just playing, and wanting to misplay and things like that. So
yeah, definitely.
So like, I was just want us to talk a little bit about like little tips and like some things to help out in case we have any new listeners attending their first regional that might not have
shout out Zach.
any
Zach.
any earthly idea of what to expect.
Most definitely.
What's something you can think about, Keisha?
As far as what?
I mean, just kind of a little tip or something that that we kind of learned after going to the first.
I think if I could give one piece of advice, it would be don't get discouraged. Just have fun because, you're going up against good players, not saying you can't beat them, but you got to prepare yourself, make sure your mental state is there. Just don't get discouraged if it doesn't go your way. Play your outs
Mm-hmm.
and do the very best you can. That's all you can do.
Right, I agree. You're there, giving it your all.
I have a couple. I don't know if y'all want me to go last, but
Oh,
I
you
can
go
go
ahead. You
now.
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
So as regarding like what to play and stuff, I think like I've made mistakes with Pokemon regionals, even with Yu-Gi-Oh regionals in the past, where like I have changed. I basically get like nervous about what I'm gonna play, and think about it too much. But it's just best to just play whatever you're comfortable with.
Absolutely.
Whatever you have the most time on, you're probably gonna, if you know the deck, you're just gonna have more. You're gonna feel more comfortable in the setting of thousands of people playing. What extra things to bring with you other than your mat, deck box, dice, all those things like that? I would also say like small snacks and a watch.
Definitely.
I think a watch is very important.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no. There is
It's
clocks, right?
really hard to see clocks while you're playing.
It is. So if you get stuck right in the middle somewhere, and there's
Yeah,
thousands, hundreds of people around you to try to, yeah, it gets rough. And I
yeah.
agree with
I don't bring a smartwatch because that's I don't even know if that's like I'd have to look into that. But
I've wore
just
mine. They haven't said
yeah,
anything to me yet.
yeah. Like wearing just wearing like a analog watch or something like that to keep up with time when the round starts and stuff will just help you out. But yeah, like Keisha said too, like how you handle a loss, I think, is more important than winning or losing the next game or things like that. Because I've watched plenty of my friends and other people too that like they lose a round and then they're just bummed the rest of the day. You kind of have to keep it locked in, So
Keep it locked in, definitely.
it's very important, I think, to just, I mean, one round is fine. You want to just play the deck to the best of your ability, even if the best player in the world, if Tord is across the table from you. What I always say is just play like you're playing at home. Just they're no different. The gap is only between playtime, right?
Right.
So if you
Right.
play your deck to the best of its ability, then you don't really have to worry about who you're playing against. I guess is the better way to look at it. So
Definitely. Daniel, I want to go back to a point you made about snacks. Now, we're not talking about like Big Macs and sandwiches and
no.
all these different kinds of things. Tell everybody what you're talking about in terms of snacks. What are the best snacks out there to take to a regional?
Something
9
small
rounds,
that fits in your bag, like a granola bar, things like that. Because like, it moves fast. Like I mean, you're there all day playing Pokemon, but it
Yeah.
moves quickly. in the sense that like you might not have a lot of time in between rounds. Everyone's playing to the best of their ability, and they're playing all their outs, right? So like your opponent or you are going to be taking a lot more time, most likely.
Yeah.
So you probably won't have as much time in between rounds, and it's a long day. So just prep for a long day. Your first regional is the worst because if you're not used to playing Pokemon for 10,
12 hours.
11
Yeah.
hours, yeah, like you're just it's gonna be a long day. Yeah, like the exhaustion does come fast. And that also goes into like picking a deck you're comfortable with, right? Like if you pick something up the week before, you're most likely having to think a lot harder about what you're doing. Not that you shouldn't be thinking hard, but you're having to remember more and things like that. So
you don't have as many practice like learning the sequencing of that deck.
Yeah, exactly. Knowing learning all the decks in the format obviously always helps, but some people don't have that kind of time. I understand that. I would beforehand just play as much as you can. Find a good testing group and just play with who you can, and just try out different stuff, even if it's online. So,
legit, stay hydrated.
Yes,
hydrated is a big one.
Yeah, hydrate is a big one.
Most definitely.
I know we've had some issues in our friend group of people having headaches, stuff like that. A little ibuprofen.
Yep.
After 4 hours of doing the same thing over and over again, you're thinking that hard.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Some ibuprofen or something's not a bad idea to have on hand.
Yeah.
Also, like if it's your first regional, and especially if you're going somewhere and you're staying somewhere, just play all your rounds, right? Like on day one, like even if you don't not making day two, if you plan on going to more regionals, just play all your rounds.
Yeah,
just getting more practice and stuff is never like a bad thing. I know sometimes it sucks when like you're not gonna make day two, so it's like time to bail, time to bounce.
But you also want to do the best you can.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, we've kind of learned that ourselves a little bit. I think our first regional, we kind of had that, big head, get excited in.
I was ready to make day two. Like I was
I'm
doing it.
And then, I think we made it our first regional. Like we could speak on that. Like where I don't want to say regret, but like we definitely went into that regional, and after we both were 2 or 3 losses down, we said, we're just ready to call it. And I felt weird about that ever since. I was like, I felt kind of bad. I was like, that was our first time being somewhere playing that big.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to like stay in the main event, right? Like, you can do side events and stuff like that. Just play more Pokemon. While you're going there to play Pokemon all day, play Pokemon all day.
Right.
Yeah, the side events are really fun too. I ended up coming in second in one of them, so.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. And then I think Orlando, like our drive down there, we talked about us like we wanted to have that. Just no matter what, we're gonna play it out, have a good time.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think we enjoyed that time in Orlando a lot more, of just playing it all out. That's what we were there for. Now, I agree. The side events are fun.
They're very fun.
They are. And sometimes if you're playing all day one, all 9 rounds, you're not going to be able to do side events, but they have those day 2 as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you're sticking around for that. Side events are, in case nobody knows, you go play these little side events to the tournament host, and you earn points from these side events, and they have a big old prize wall that you can cash in those points for it and
play mats and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's always.
And sometimes you also get shirts for entering, coins.
Yeah,
all those kinds of things that are super cool.
Yeah, that's always fun. A little promo card.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you get there early enough to, if you're not going to get there Friday the night before,
get there early Saturday.
That way you can go pick up all your swag, all your free
and enjoy the vendors a little bit.
Yeah, and check out the vendors. There's usually a good bit of vendors. Yeah. This kind of, I don't want to say advice or what, this is just kind of how we did it.
Mm-hmm.
Set up, if you're going with a group, if you're going by yourself, it's different. I've never went to one by myself. If you're going with a group.
Be safe if you're going by yourself.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But, while you're meeting up with everybody, because it's a lot of people are there, say, hey, we always kind of made us a meetup point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Some places we went to, can't remember which regional, there's no good cell service there.
Yeah, yeah, that was tough.
So trying to hunt people down. So we'd always say, hey, we're going to meet over there, that big old picture of the Reggies or the Cramorant.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of have a little meetup spot, always helpful for after rounds. You go meet up, or
you always want to talk about your round and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
just take a breather.
Exactly. And another one.
We should get walkie-talkies.
Walkie-talkies.
Another one is it's a long day. Bring a little, if you can, if you're on your phone or whatnot, bring a little charger and a little power
Definitely
bank.
power banks. Yes.
Because you're having hundreds of people there. You're not going to be able to find an outlet any chance you need.
Nope.
Extra sleeves. I don't remember if anybody brought up that yet.
Definitely.
Yeah, that is a really big one. Extra sleeves are super important because people are shuffling and cutting your deck throughout the day.
Yeah.
And people will shuffle and cut your deck differently than you do. And if one gets damaged, you want to be able to replace it. Not just an extra like 20, just go ahead and bring an extra sleeve, like a whole pack of sleeves. Yeah, just to be safe. You don't want to get that game loss or anything for like a marked card, even if it's unintentional. So.
Right. Or even, say you're doing really well and you're going, 7 games in, your cards are being handled by so many people, yourself included. Those sleeves start to get a little
like wear and stuff.
Yeah, it feels nice sleeve. And then especially if you make day 2, you're gonna want some fresh sleeves for day 2.
Yeah, another thing that I don't think it's brought up enough, if regardless of how well you know the game, if someone does something that doesn't sound right to you, call the judge.
Yeah.
Yes.
If it doesn't sound right to you, if the ruling doesn't sound correct, just call the judge and check. And if you feel like it is not correct, then just appeal to the head judge.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. Yeah, judge. That is very important because you can definitely, especially like being your first regional with the nerves and everything like that. Like people don't want to call a judge and things like that.
That's what they're there for.
And they're super friendly.
Your opponent might say something like, oh, I'll just do this. Like if they drew an extra card, oh, I'll do this. But just make sure that you, people will think, the people who will do it will think that you're trying to shark them or not. You're not. You're just keeping the game fair. And that is a normal reaction to want to get the judge involved because there are rules and they're there for a reason. So.
Absolutely.
Anybody else anybody can think of? I think that's all I can think of.
I don't think so.
I'm sure there's more.
Yeah, there's definitely more.
We're learning along the way too. We're like I said, we're attending our 4th one for us, for me and you. So,
yeah, definitely.
Go somewhere nice to eat.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I'll always get some out of town food.
Yeah, you're there.
Be safe.
Be safe.
Support the local community.
Exactly. You're there also playing Pokemon, but you're also getting out of the house, going exploring around. Like we went more places last year from Pokemon.
Oh my gosh, did we go to Miami? No, Orlando.
Orlando, when we probably wouldn't be. So, it's real nice to get out there and explore.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what to expect, kind of give you, anybody new into it. Something I just want to kind of bring up in this topic about regionals, and I'm learning it myself, and it's just a change that I've noticed of going back and watching Baltimore regionals, which ended this past weekend. They're introducing something called asymmetrical cut. And I just wanted to get y'all's kind of thought on it a little bit and see if I can explain it the best possible. So normally, when you're playing your rounds, you're earning match points. You win a round, you get 3 points. You tie a round, each player gets 1 point. Obviously, if you lose, you get 0. And so you're always trying to play to a certain match point number to get into the top cut. And so, for example, say if you're trying to get top cut is 32 points. That's just a number off the top of my head that I could be wrong. I'm sure there's a way to figure it up. I'm not smart enough to figure that all up.
That is not true.
But now this season, I don't know exactly who's implementing it. If it's Pokemon, I've heard that these regionals are being held by a different TO this year, but it's asymmetrical cut. And from my understanding, is if you say you come in 9th place, and you still have the same amount of match points as the 8th place person, you will have to play a separate game before Top Cut can actually start. And it goes by the seeding of the tournament. So say there is 3 players that all have that 32 match point. So they're in 9th, 10th, and 11th. 9th will play the 8th person to get into that spot. The 10th will play the 8th seed, and so forth, all the way on up.
So that means it's going to result in multiple extra rounds.
It,
So also,
it
like this only applies to like day 2, right? So
it does.
So basically, if everyone 1 through 7th, because I'm reading it here, all players with the same number of match points as the player in 8th place will play for a spot in the quarterfinals, right?
Right.
So this only applies to anyone who would be in contention for 8th, so it doesn't come down to player percentage and things like that, I would assume.
So is 7th place, it doesn't matter?
Do what?
So for 7th place, like...
I mean, I'm reading this on... So in the asymmetrical top cut, all players with the same number of match points as the player in 8th place will play for a spot in the quarterfinals.
Okay, yeah.
Once this asymmetrical top cut has concluded, the quarterfinals will begin, from which will be a straight knockout tournament.
Yep.
So I think the way it's basically making is to basically make it to where the top 8, or the 8th player who gets into top cut will not, I could be wrong about this, you won't basically lose the tiebreakers if you're in contention for 8th, right? So if you have the same amount of points as 8th place, then there will be rounds conducted for the players that have a top 8 placement, and then I think it'll just be one round, right? Because then the winner's percentages will be drastically different.
Right.
Because so then 8th place would be announced, I would assume.
Right. So have you all seen on there? Does it make sense where like the 7th seed would play the 10th seed?
Why would the 7th seed play the 10th seed?
That's what I noticed from the video, the live stream of the Baltimore regional. That's how they figure. Because say you have 2 or 3 people get the same amount of match points as the 8th person.
Yeah, so if you have the same amount of match points as hold on, who would have? Oh, you're talking about like if. Oh, so most likely anyone. So if say like, I'm assuming that anyone like say like 6th through 10th have the same amount of match points.
Mm-hmm.
Then 6th through 10th would have to play another round.
Right.
Right. I'm assuming that's what it is.
I guess.
Yeah, like I mean, we probably need to look more into this
myself.
I'm reading off of Pokemon.com. It says after all Swiss rounds are completed, top 8 competitors plus all competitors with the same number of match points they placed. Daniel said this will advance to asymmetrical top cut, single eliminated bracket to determine the winner. Overall, the change to Swiss will promote more streamlined tournament days to improve both the flow of the event and potential daily fatigue. For Top Cut, this update allows the competitors a way to better advance in a tournament based on their skills while reducing factors that are partially out of the control, like the opponent's match win percentage.
Yeah. So like, I think the point of it is to weed out like say we have the same amount of top match points, so we both did really well because we got either up to 10th, but then my round 4 dropped.
Yeah.
Right. But me and you have the same amount of points, but my guy just dropped. So now I've bubbled now into 8th or 10th or wherever.
Oh yeah,
it wouldn't be 8th yet. So now, I mean, I think it's kind of a good thing. I think it changes the top tables from unless you're like basically in the top 4, you probably don't want to just ID.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't ID at all. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm IDing if I'm at table 1, you know.
But, yeah, for sure.
But like, yeah, I would imagine you wouldn't want to ID
if you're like on the 9th or 8th spot right there. Yeah, you gotta play that out.
Yeah, so I mean, like it's probably a good thing. IDing was weird to me when I started playing Pokemon. So I mean, it's not like I don't think it's terrible. Obviously, I just have to see how it works a little bit better. But
yeah, there's just something interesting that's different. We got to learn a little bit more of.
Yeah, we might see more of it because there's a regional this weekend in Germany. I just realized
Yeah,
that.
that is
So
true. Yeah, I mean, when we go to Kentucky and we see I go through it myself, then we'll be able to we'll be
Yeah.
able to tell,
absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
Hope I
absolutely.
don't know. Maybe I just get third and don't have to worry about it, but
There you go.
yeah,
Well,
I'll
sweet,
take
yeah.
it.
So our next topic here is they released a supercharged breaker featuring
Pikachu.
Pikachu
So
EX.
Supercharged Breaker, that's the name of the set in
Yeah,
Japan.
this is their second so Paradise Dragona is their like subset and supercharged breaker, which in together will make up our Surging Spark set in November.
Gotcha.
So there's a few different cards they were talking about here. Mew EX or Mew. I got Mew on the brain. Pikachu EX,
Yeah.
of course, a lightning type with 200 HP. Its ability Tenacious Heart. If this Pokemon has full HP and would be knocked out by an attack, it isn't knocked out and its remaining HP becomes 10 instead. And then we have Topaz Bolt for a metal, lightning, and grass energy, and it does 300 damage, and you discard all 3 energy from this Pokemon.
What do we think?
I think this card's interesting. I don't think I know like the ability sounds like it is solid. Like it's a solid ability. I think what this does, it gives a better Pokemon for Miraidon to try to look into playing Area Zero.
Yeah, definitely.
It gives like the only way you're ever attacking with this guy, honestly, at least in Miraidon, or probably in any deck, is the Crystal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the ability is cool. It's just it is being like it's able to play it around pretty well. It's this deck card is really good though against decks like Raging Bolt and
Mhm.
things like that. They don't really have the engine space to play things like Duskull and things like that. But I mean, it's not a bad card by any means. I don't think.
Hey, I'm just saying
Mhm.
that new Magnezone coming out.
Yeah, they have some support Pokemon along with that. The
Which we revealed.
Magnemite, you mean?
No, Magnezone. It's a card they're just including in this that they revealed, but they revealed it. The Magneton. I'm sorry, not Magnezone.
That's what I was reading. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Magneton. So once during your turn, you may attach up to 3 basic energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way you like. If you use this ability, it's knocked out. So it's a Duskull, Dusknoir
Mhm.
for lightning.
Charges,
That,
yeah.
yeah.
Um,
So that'd be
which is
interesting.
that card's like really interesting too. I don't see. I mean, trust me, I could be wrong. Like I'm trying to figure out like what plays this though. Um, Don, are you saying like for Pikachu?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have
Are
it
you,
right underneath. I'm on pokebeach.com.
yeah. I'm just saying like I mean, so it takes 1 lightning energy, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think playing like Earthen Vessel and Generator and Crystal would probably be better, right? Because then you can go Earthen Vessel, attach Grass, Generator for the lightning, and then it can attack for 300.
That seems like a lot,
Uh,
doesn't it?
oh well, you got to think like Miraidon's already playing Arven, right? So
True.
the deck doesn't have a way to like one shot Zards, but now it does, right?
It
So
does.
like because you can play things like which gets a little actually no, you can't really play with the crystal too. So
Well, hang on. Here's another card they revealed.
Yeah, so
A new stadium.
they revealed a stadium that's gonna trump kind of Zard. It's called Gravity Mountain. So the maximum HP of all stage 2 Pokemon in play is reduced by 30.
this card's actually really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
This
that's
puts
all.
a lot of stuff in range.
Right.
Right.
I like how this is worded though. It's not like they take 30 more damage or anything, but their maximum HP is reduced.
Right.
That changes a lot because even like, just for example, I mean, it doesn't really apply to anything currently, but if you're able to like heal it, then it just doesn't really change anything because
Mhm.
like they can only heal to that,
Right.
to whatever the maximum. So like what Charizard goes to 300, which is yeah, I mean yeah, actually, so you just crystal for this, and then play this, and you're knocking out Zard for 300.
Right.
Which is
Could we
actually kind
see-
of interesting.
It is.
Or Zard could play Amphitheater.
Yeah, they
Which
got the kind of opposite
Pokemon and play get 30 HP.
Is it just
plus 30 HP?
basic Pokemon?
Basic Pokemon.
No, they wouldn't be playing it. Yeah, no, because they ain't got no
True.
basic. If they want to boost our Pikachu, sure.
Oh.
But also, like, there's a lot of things that gets put in range by Charizard
Yeah.
in this. When you take a single Charizard, this 210 brings down Raging Bolt to 210. It does. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that actually brings down in range of a lot of stuff. So I mean, this card like 30 HP, changing 30 HP is like kind of crazy.
It is.
Sure.
What does suck about this card is you need to keep it in play long enough, right? So you have to keep it in play, attack, which gives your opponent 30 minus 30 on all your stage 2s. So I could see like I think Miraidon would be really good for this because obviously you don't have any stage 2s, so it doesn't matter anyway. So like Miraidon would probably be pretty decent with this. Yeah, it's not terrible.
Could we see like a finals match like with the nostalgia kick in, having Pikachu
Charizard and
versus Zard?
Pikachu.
Yeah.
Pikachu versus Zard would be so good.
That'd be funny. Did this Terapagos just come out?
Yeah, this was.
So they introduced Terapagos as well. A baby Terapagos. Prism charge. Search your deck up to 3 basic energy of different types and attach them to your Terra Pokemon in any way you like. Then shuffle your deck. So that's a support one as well. They also came out with Tyrano. Search your deck for up to 3 Pokemon EX, reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck.
I don't know how
That
good
seems
that
kinda
one
meh.
is.
Yeah. I will say this Terapagos is gonna go crazy in pre-release. Like,
Oh yeah,
well,
definitely.
well, actually, it's just Terra Pokemon. So if you pull a Terra Pokemon, it's
If
cool.
you pull a Terra,
yeah, it's gonna be like so
exactly.
good. If you pull the Pikachu in this, you're going crazy.
oh my.
Oh yeah,
goodness.
you're going crazy for sure.
Something that I was when I saw this Pikachu, like you could actually just play Pikachu
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and just play Joltik, like Joltik Pikachu,
Ooh.
right? So like,
Is one of his energy
instead of-
grass?
Yeah, it's grass lightning.
Oh my
So
goodness.
you could Joltik for 2 Pikachus, and then have like 1 more attacker for like your third or your last 2 prizes.
Yeah.
Or by the time you're like, because you can attach to Joltik for turn, the next turn attach, and then attach in the next turn, and then Crystal for the last one.
Your crystal, you have that power hourglass.
Yeah, Power Hourglass.
out
Yeah,
with
even
that.
XP share would work for this.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, Pikachu could actually be a deck like by itself.
That's crazy.
So like, you're just attaching steel energies from hand. You're just playing like, yeah. I mean, it's kind of interesting. Like, and like you never really have to worry like turn 1. I mean, against like other than like Duskull and things like that, you never really have to worry about like turn 1, getting knocked out.
Yeah, you can't get bumped by a bolt.
That's true.
The one thing that I don't like about this card is because of the way it's worded, that if it goes from full HP, if this card were to ever become meta defining, it is very techable to play things like, not saying like it's going to be that great, but like you can play things by like, what's the name of that guy? Halucha, and like then boss it up and kill it, because it does have that 200 HP, which makes it kind of weird.
200 is very easy to kind of. A lot of big decks hit that 200 Dragapult, the one that comes to mind.
Pult is the big one, right? So like Pult, which is looking to be very strong this next format, like Pult, if it takes the first knockout, it can spread 20 damage to each of them. Like say you set up 3 Pikachus, and now none of the Pikachus are protected.
Yeah,
right?
that ability doesn't do a
Then
thing.
fresh water set goes crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Freshwater set and Radiant Serena? Is that the one that heals?
Yeah, Radiant Serena.
Serena.
Radiant Serena, heal up your Pokemon. I'm gonna have to click on that.
But I think the best use of this is definitely gonna be in Miraidon for the Pikachu.
Yeah, I think so too. They
I
also
haven't seen this A spec.
Yeah, I was gonna say they came out with the A spec Miracle Intercon. Put up to 2 supporters from your discard pile into your hand. So that's interesting.
More like stall. That's
Yeah,
the only thing that I see like decent with that, right? Like, but what is annoying about that is they can silene it back.
Oh
do
yeah,
it
It doesn't
again.
have the limit.
No, so you can silene it back, and then grab Silene and Penny
And redo
and
it.
yeah, and do it again. So that's interesting. That's like the
Yeah.
only real use I see in this card.
And then they have that tool, which is kind of meh. Technical machine fluorite. Discard all energy from this Pokemon. If you do, heal all damage from each of your Terra.
Heal your Pikachu. Oh, you got to have crazy energy for this.
Yeah, water, psychic, and grass.
Yeah, this is
doesn't make
probably the
sense.
worst card they've printed in a while. I'm not gonna lie.
That's a bolt card.
Yeah, that's the bulk. That's going in the bulk box.
Yeah, that's a bulk box for sure. But a
But
lot of good stuff coming out.
new cards coming out. It's always fun to
Oh yeah.
cook up ideas with them.
Yeah.
I'm sure Pikachu's gonna get a crazy alt art. So.
Yes,
I know
I can't
one
wait.
friend of ours is going to love if Pikachu comes into the
Oh yeah, Hank. Shout out
Oh,
Hank.
yeah.
Shout out
Oh,
Hank.
Hanky.
We're going to get you on that Pikachu EX deck.
There you go.
So next up, with our guest, with a
game.
guest returning, not returning, but well, I guess a guest coming back. We are going to have our guest showdown.
I get to play.
Yeah.
Yes, showdown.
Right. I'm
All
ready.
right. So I get to host this game. So we're gonna see how this goes. Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna give you an example to try to see. There's a word for it, and I can't think of the word. If in production I can think of the word. It started with an E. I'll get it put on the screen, but it's kind of where I got this. We're going off of how the meaning of these Pokemon names, if that makes sense. It's like the Pokemon etymology.
Is that it?
I think that's it, but I don't know if we're like putting a curse on somebody or not. So we're just gonna go. We're gonna need Daniel. We need you to buzz in, or Keisha to buzz in.
Do you have the buzzer on there on your thing?
I don't think it worked in the recording of the last video.
Yeah, it didn't. It didn't work on the recording.
Oh,
So you
But I will
give
just
me
say
the
buzz.
There we go.
okay.
So here's the. It's gonna be first person to 3,
Okay.
and here is this is just a practice round for us. You ready?
You hear that, Daniel? It's practice.
See if y'all understand the game.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna say. So it's almost like 2 clues to figure out what you have to figure out what the clue is, what the definition, what I'm giving you, and then put those 2 words together to make the Pokemon's name.
Gotcha.
A water-based reptile and a small tree branch.
A tree branch.
Okay, say that one more time. It's on the tip of my tongue.
So what is a water-based reptile?
Oh, bzz,
Oh, I got it.
Turtwig.
Turtwig. Correct.
Okay.
Yep. I was
So
over here
water-
thinking turtle stick.
So we got the game. You
Yep.
gotta understand. Okay.
Let's do it.
First person to 3. Y'all ready?
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
A meat-eating creature and long strands of a plant.
Buzz.
Let's hear it.
Carnivine?
You got it.
Hey.
You don't know what a Carnivine is?
No.
Well, someone needs to be playing some more Pokemon.
Oh my goodness.
Let's go.
1-0. Ready?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Bird of prey. Mexican wrestler.
Nah.
What is it?
Bravery. Bravery.
Nope.
Buzz?
Let's hear it.
Howlucha?
Howlucha
Dang, let's go.
and Luchador. Come on, baby.
All I got was Lucha out of that. That's the only thing I could think of.
It's gonna be a shutout.
Is his name Hawk Lucha?
It's
Like-
not.
No.
But it's just the first few letters or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of like the first half. What it's kind of based off of.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? This is coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Game point, Keisha.
Generic name for a pet dog.
Oh.
Flour and water mixture used for baking. These seem so easy when I'm like reading them and guessing them.
What's the first part again?
Generic
Read it
name
again.
for a pet dog.
Generic name for a pet dog.
Yep, is the first half of the name, and then flour and water mixture used for baking. What is that? What is a flour and water mixture used for baking?
Cornstarch? I don't know.
What do you use? Water and flour mixture. What does that make?
Bread?
Oh my
No, water and
goodness.
flour does not.
Oh my goodness.
Too dumb
Buzz?
for it.
Let's hear it.
Is it Fido?
It is Fido. Dough.
Dough.
Oh my goodness.
So where's the phi?
Where? What is the phi?
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
threw me off. Like I knew dough, but I just went off of dough.
Generic name for a pet dog is apparently Fido.
No, it ain't.
Oh, actually, yeah, Fido. Yeah, come here, Fido.
Yeah.
That's the whole name, though.
Yeah, exactly.
But Fido is spelled just Fido.
That
if
is
you were
fair.
to spell.
Yeah,
So it's a play on its names.
Wow.
that is fair.
Oh my goodness. Y'all want to just go through these last ones to hear them?
Yeah.
I
Might
think
as
these are
well.
interesting. But this game is not working well for us, so I think we're going to have to figure something out. Okay, so this last one, these last few, because I have 3 more here.
Uh-huh.
The loud screech a bird makes in a genre of rock music.
A loud screech a bird makes.
The loud screech a bird makes. Generic or genre of rock music.
Mm.
So what's the loud screech a bird makes?
Caw.
Okay, what would you call that? Like a squawk?
Oh,
It's squawkabilly.
squawkabilly. Yeah, rockabilly. Yeah.
Squawk and rockabilly.
I was about to say mel metal.
Yeah, metal.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, 2 more. Large, powerful mammal,
Okay.
and to
Me?
have on as clothing.
To have on as clothing?
Yeah. So what do you do? What are you doing when you have clothing on?
Living. Wearing?
Living life.
You're wearing clothing, right?
Wearing, yeah.
Beware.
Oh, beware, yeah.
Your favorite Pokemon. You didn't get it.
No, he's not my favorite. He's just the coolest.
That's true.
Last one. A sudden movement or burst of electricity.
Mm.
A mite-like parasite.
Jolting.
Magnemite.
Jolted.
Oh shit. I mean, shoot.
Edit that out.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, Daniel,
We take the
keep
W.
on that one.
You got the W, fair and square.
Good game, Keisha. Good game.
Good game. Good game. All right. So, Daniel, it's only fair that we give you the card spotlight this week.
The card spotlight.
That's correct. What you got for us?
One of the best cards in Stellar Crown, probably. I believe is Sparkling Crystal. We've brought it up a couple times already.
Yeah.
Which kind of, I think, shows that it going forward in the future, the more the card only gets better. The amount of terrors, the amount of terrors that come into the game.
Right.
But like what I think this card is like really good. I mean, I think this card like completely brings Dragapult into relevance. There's a lot of weird things you can do with this card. Like the Wellspring Ogre Mask with just a DTE. You can still use the attack, right? Even though you can just use DTE with the Sparkling Crystal. I think a lot of the aspects that have came out and been revealed aren't very useful when you have, and it's not that they're good, not bad, or not. It's not that they're not good cards.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we have way better aspects that you'd rather play. Like I think it's hard to pass up Prime Catcher.
Very hard.
Like being able to Arven for Forest Seal Stone and Prime Catcher is just like insane.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think like
that's true like this as well, because like for certain decks that use this one, this
Arven.
is a cool card that Arven can get. It's searchable.
Yeah, and I think this card, like especially in Dragapult specifically, this card, like it's a tool that doesn't matter if it gets vacuumed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
if you damage.
Yeah, if you get the first attack off with Dragapult, like I mean, it probably applies to a lot of other Pokemon. It's already done its job, right? It allows the decks that can use it to be a lot more aggressive. which I think makes it just super strong. It's one of, I think, like, I'm trying to think of all the cards in Stellar Crown. It's one of 3 cards that when they were released, like when they were announced, I was like, this card is like insane. And like I said, it's a card that only gets better like as the more Terras we get. Like so, even with Pikachu, like it's viable. Not saying that it'll work all the time or that it's like we've come up with the secret sauce, but it is viable to do that, and I think that makes it very. It's not a very linear card, which I really do enjoy about the card.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's one that if you are, it can fix a lot of problems with the new. I think a lot of the Terras have came out weak, right? Like I mean, obviously Charizard just kind of overshadows a lot of the Terras, Charizard and Dragapult specifically. Ogerpon, even another one. But for those ones, honestly, when this card came out, like when we got Sparkling Crystal in hand, I went through every single Terra that was available to us to like start looking, and like we're about to get more in Surging Sparks.
Mm-hmm.
So there's gonna be like a lot of different things you can do that I think are gonna be really, really strong. So
Absolutely.
Good card spotlight.
yeah,
Yeah.
the card's
We've been hitting
crazy.
all the cards out of Stellar Crown.
Oh,
We
most
did all of them?
No, not all of them, but we
The
picked definitely
best
like the
ones,
best
I
ones.
think.
Yeah. I think we've had like a tool now, probably the best supporter, the best Pokemon.
Y'all done Briar?
We've done Briar, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Briar's
Yep.
one of the other 3
The
that I
best
think is
tech
broken.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Definitely. So for our week plans this week, we got a lot of Pokemon coming up.
We do.
Thursday,
We're gonna make it.
yeah, a lot of prep. Thursday night locals will be at One Up Games. Shout out to them. Saturday, we're gonna head over to Oxford, Alabama for a double cup weekend.
Yep. We're attempting it. It's gonna be the first time we're gonna knock out 2 cups in one weekend. So Oxford on Saturday and
Yep. And Sunday, Hawks Nest Gaming has a cup.
Nest.
Yeah, for sure. So we're gonna try to check those out, and we're gonna be tired, but we're gonna prep
some
and
real good prep for regionals because
Yeah.
cups can last a long time too.
Yep, they can, but I think we're ready for it. We're ready.
Oh yeah, we play enough Pokemon. It'll
Stellar
be fun.
Crown legal
At least be
this weekend?
Stellar Crown is legal as of Friday,
Nice.
so that'll be interesting to see.
No
Very
more
exciting.
Drago format.
No more Draco format. Woohoo. Sorry, Steven.
Yeah. So, guys, that's all the time we have for this week. Thank you, Daniel, for being with us to talk all the things Pokemon. I know you don't have social media, so everybody will just have to
say
cheer
hi.
Me on.
Say hi.
And,
yeah, there you
go. They'll cheer me on in the feature match. It's okay.
Yeah,
absolutely. So yeah, that's all the time we have left. Like and subscribe to the Pear podcast if you haven't already. Leave us a comment how we can improve, a like, a follow, all the things.
Absolutely.
YouTube. So
thank y'all.
Thank y'all so much, and bye.
Bye.